Hello again, guys. All right, so far we are able to do deposits, pay transfers, and withdrawals. So today we're gonna be working on the payment form. So hopefully this one will go as smoothly as the withdrawal video, but probably it's unlikely. In any case, the first thing I want to do within the payment form, by the way, again, I'm in here. We'll be set up our components. It's the payment form, right? So if you remember, I forgot to add the form tag within the payments form as well. So the first thing I'll do, or actually, remember we have to get the accounts. So we have to get the account where we will be making the payment from. So let's copy our loop, our for each loop of our accounts, and then in the payments form, this is where the drop down or the select option drop down is. So we're gonna cut that out and then paste our accounts loop over there. All right, and then now before the body, um before the body, just remember, before the body there's the button. Okay, and then right before the way the body begins, this is where the beneficiary name is coming in. So we're going to copy right under there from where the body begins, and then right up until where the body ends. Right, and then again we're going to say payment form, um, payment form. What's going on here? Payment form. All right. All right. So I can pretty much tell that I did the commenting correctly there. So I want to say end of payment form. All right. Okay. All right. So here we're gonna say action. All right. And then the method is gonna be post again. Okay. So now within here, let's just say transact transact, and then the method is going to be payment. Okay, so now let's paste back our form elements. All right, so hopefully there's no issues within here. All right, so we got the beneficiary, we got the account number of the beneficiary, and then we're gonna select the account that we're making the payment from. Here we're gonna enter our reference, right? And then um what else? And then what you call it, we're going to do um we're going to enter the amount that uh, we are paying, what you call it, we are making the payment for. So now there's one thing we need to add, because remember, this has to show um this has to show the reference, the so we have to have a separate table where it displays all of this information. So if you remember, we created views within our database. So show tables, right? So we got the payments, uh sorry, not that one. We got the payments table, right? So we're gonna say show columns from payments, right? As you can see, this is where we will be what you call it, displaying the this is where we will be inserting the payments for our transaction. Okay, so now here within our application we need to create another model, right? So in here we're going to say payments. Let's say payment. Okay, so we're going to annotate this as an entity, right? And then we're going to have, let me see, you got the payment ID, account ID. This will auto increment, so we don't need to stress about that, but we will get the ID, the beneficiary, beneficiary account number, amount that we are paying, and then the reference, status code, and reason code. So let's see, we need to get the account ID first and then beneficiary. Okay, so we're gonna say private int. Um, we still need to say payment ID, right? And then we need to say account ID. All right. So what's next? It's the beneficiary. I'm gonna copy that. Beneficiary. Let me copy this a number of times. Right. So we're gonna take the account number, right? And then we're gonna take the amount, and then we're gonna take the reference, status, and then what else? Reason code, right? Okay, and then what else? Create that, right? Um, okay, all right. So let's do some cleanup here. So for the amount, let me just check what I set up the last time. So for the amount, okay, the amount I set as a double, and then the rest should stay the same. Okay, right, and then here we'll then I need to annotate this as an ID. All right, so then we can set the getters and setters. So generate. Okay, so now we need to create a repository for this payment, what you call it, model. So we're gonna come here in the repository. We're gonna create another interface. We're gonna say payment repository. All right, extends. I'm gonna say CRUD, and then we're gonna bind it to the payment model, and then obviously integer. Right, let's import that. So now we're gonna say add repo. All right, so now what do we need to do? Okay, so we're gonna say add modifying, right? And then we're gonna say so the query is going to be native query before I forget. All right, so we're gonna say insert into payments. I said payments, right? Yeah, payments, right? And then we're gonna set the values. So it's gonna be account ID, um, beneficiary, right? And then I'm copying the names as they are because I know I have a tendency of making spelling mistakes. So I'm gonna keep copying everything. All right, account ID, beneficiary, account name. What else? Amount. I'm gonna copy reference number. right? So it's amount and then ref number, status and reason code, right? Reason code, then what else? Created at. All right, let me close this so we can see what's going on, right? Then space, you're gonna say values, and we're gonna say account ID, right? Amount and then reference number, right? Reason code, created at. Okay, so let me just be sure. So it's account ID, beneficiary, yes, beneficiary account number, amount, reference number, status, reason code, created at. Okay, so we got everything we need. Okay, so we're gonna say void um, make payment. It's gonna be account ID, right? And then we're gonna have param, okay, and param. That's gonna be amount. What else? What is that? Reference number, right? All right, param. Okay, ref number and then status. Reason code. And then created at. Okay, so we seem to have an issue here. I wonder what that is. Unexpected. Where is it seeing that? Oh, okay. So that's our payment function. Oh, sorry, this needs to be a double, right? Okay, so that's our payment repository, and then that's our payment function here. So now we need to do the we need to set up that within the transaction controller. So here is the okay. All right. So at the top, let's auto wire that payment repository. So after here, we can just say private payment repository, okay, and then auto wire it as well. Okay, so at the bottom here, we're gonna get the, or let's also, so remember we said payment, right? Let's just be sure. Yeah, payment, right? And then here we're gonna get our parameters. So in the payment form, we have the beneficiary, right? So we're gonna copy that. And then let's close this. We're gonna say at request param beneficiary, right? Let's name it that. You know what? I'm gonna copy this and paste it a couple of times. So right. So it's beneficiary. Then we need account number. Uh, that can stay as a string. And then we need the account ID, right? What else? We need the reference. Then we need the payment amount. What else? And that's pretty much it. So we can then delete this last parameter here. Okay, so here we're going to say HTTP session. Okay, okay, so now let's set up our actions. So we're going to say to do. We need to check for empty values. Check. Okay, and then we're going to say right. Same thing. Check for all right. And then what else? To do right? We're gonna say get current balance, right? So then here we're gonna say um, okay. So then what else? I think that's basically it. Okay, so first things first, let's just start with the checking for empty value. So we're gonna do the exact same thing we did at the top there. So beneficiary dot is empty, or what else? Account number dot is empty, or account ID dot is empty. What else? Reference. I don't care for the reference, to be honest, but the payment amount, we need that, is empty. So those are important. This one not that much, though. You know what, I don't think we have a default value for reference. Yeah, I don't think we have a default value for it, but in any case it's fine, we can just use what we have. Let's do this here as well, and you can copy this. Right, so um okay, beneficiary. Okay, so that's our error message. If any of these fields are empty, it will display that. Otherwise, you can then proceed to what you call it, um, convert the variable. So what we need to convert is the account ID and payment, right? So you're gonna say int account ID equals to dot parse int. You're gonna say account ID. The amount is gonna be double, which is gonna be payment amount equals to dot parse double, which is going to be amount sorry, payment amount. Okay, then we're going to do another if statement here. So we're going to say payment amount, no, payment amount, the one we converted, if it's equal to 0, again we're going to do the exact same thing. um, let's take the message that we got here. Where is it? Payment. Okay, we here we're going to say payment amount cannot be empty. Okay, then we're going to display that. Right, so here we get the user equals to, right, okay. So we're gonna get then the current balance. Right, so current balance is equal to uh, repository dot get account balance, where your user ID equals that, and the where's the account ID? Oh yeah, this one over here. So remember, we're using the one that we converted here, right? That's the new balance, right? The other thing is, if right, if the current balance, right, is greater than or is lower than the payment amount, we redirect back and say, um, um, how can I say that the payment, you have, should we say something like you have insufficient to perform this payment. Yeah, I think that's fine. We could say something like the current payment, the amount that you're using to, or the amount that you want to pay from is less than what you have currently, but that's whatever. But yeah, we can, this should be fine. You have insufficient funds to perform this payment. All right. Okay. And in fact, we were supposed to actually do this as well when we do the withdrawals, but we will set that up later. All right. So that's the payment amount. So what else? Okay, so if all of those pass, we can then now do what, um set new balance for account paying from, right? So we'll say new balance. Remember, we set this value at the top, right? So new balance will equal to current balance minus payment amount, and then we can update account paying from, right? So we can say account repository dot change account ID, right? There we're gonna say new balance, and then we're gonna get the account ID, and then down here we can say uh, payment. I don't know if, okay, let me just write it out first. To do, we can say make payment. So we have to say payment repository dot make payment. So what are we getting? We're getting the account ID, which is the account ID there, the beneficiary, uh, account number, right? The amount will be payment amount, right? And what else? Reference will be reference, okay? And then the status will be success. You can just type it in there. Then reason code would be what? Uh, let's just say payment made. Yeah, let's just say let me put a variable here. I will say reason code will equal to, Okay, yeah, we can just put this reason code there. Okay, what else? We need um oh, the date time. So let's create another variable here as well. All right, and then we can place it there. So we can say current date time. Right. Okay, so before we perform this particular transaction, let's just make sure we've got everything in order. All right, so now let's see. I think this should come before we update the account. Let's move these up, right? Okay, so here we check if the amount, the current balance, the current balance is less than the payment amount. If it's less, we redirect. Otherwise, we set the new balance and then we minus, we deduct the current balance, the payment amount from the current balance, and then we set that into a new balance variable. So here we make the payment, right, of whatever, and then here we update the account to say the new balance will now be whatever was deducted from the payment amount. All right, it didn't make sense to make the payment after we deducted the amount. So in any case, so yeah, I think that's the correct order. All right. So now we can redirect back to the dashboard. Success. Uh, let's not forget to change that to success. And then uh, in fact, let's just take this reason code. We don't need to actually keep rewriting that. So it'll equal to reason code, because in any case, that's the exact same message I was going to type out. All right. So I think that's it for everything we need. So yeah, we're making the payment here, and then here we update the account to set to deduct whatever the amount was set up. All right. So if everything should be fine from there. I think that's pretty much it. So we can then now test. Hopefully we did everything correctly there. So yeah, let's go ahead and deploy the application. We will test it once it's back up. All right, guys. So the server is up. Hopefully we didn't make too many mistakes, but let's check it out. So we're gonna log in. Okay. So okay, let's see. We can make a payment. Um, yeah, we can make a payment from any one of the accounts. So let's see. Let's do one with Sam's Coffee Shop. So the beneficiary will be uh, suppliers, right? And then account number. Let's just put in any. Okay, and then Sam's Coffee Shop reference. New, and then the amount. Oh, by the way, um, flip. Okay, okay, no, let's fine. Let's continue with the payment. Let's say 500 bucks, and let's see if it works. Okay, so there's an issue somewhere for input string code being suppliers. What does that mean? Coffee bean. did I do here? Oh, flip. Okay. My apologies, guys. I made a mistake here. I didn't change that payment amount. So payment amount is that payment amount. Okay. So sorry about that. I forgot to change this value here. So I'm gonna redeploy the file again, and then we will test once it's back up. All right. So the server is up. Let's try again. All right. So since we're starting from scratch, let's start. All right, so the first check is working to see if we have empty values. All right, so the other one is um, coffee bean suppliers. That's the ref number. Coffee bean, uh, new coffee bean stock. The other one was zero value, right? Let's see if that works. Okay, payment amount cannot be of zero value. Okay, the other check, yeah, that's zero value. The other check is what? Okay, so let's see if this one works where we try to make a payment of what you call it, a payment of more than what we are trying to, or what, more than what we have in the account. So um, we have 1.3. So let's try that payment. Let's say 2,000. Okay, you have insufficient funds to perform this payment. All right, cool. Now let's make that payment. Let's say 500 bucks. Okay, so payment was successful, and then as you can see, it also deducted from there, and then we also deducted from our account. And then if we check within the payments table, all right, so that's our, so that's where the payment was made from account ID, from account ID 2, which is Sam's Coffee Shop. Payment was successful. There's everything there. All right, so we can make another one from the other account. Let's say, what is it, Sam's Bakery, right? So we can say, um, what can we say? Uh, Mary's Mary's muffins. Okay, let's change that. That's for Sam's Bakery. Reference is new stock on or of 24 pack muffins. I don't know. And then maybe let's just say that also costs 500 bucks. Pay. Alright, that's fine. So we've now gone down about close to 1,000 bucks. And if we check in here, sorry, if we check in here, there's our two payments. All right, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of all the transactions. We can deposit amounts, we can withdraw, we can deposit, and all of that. So I think that's pretty much it in terms of the main bulk of what we needed to do. The other two things that we need to do now is show the payment history and transaction history. So I think that's what we can then start to work on in the next video. But everything else, I think we've done. We can do deposits, transfers, etc. And so, yeah, I think we're almost done. All right, guys. So that's it for the video. Um, Again, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys within the next video. All right, cheers for now.